Okay, so we're going to work on a color wheel. So I first want you to find something that is circular, something that is round. This is my clip lamp. It is about 8.5 inches in diameter, and that works really well because I've been working on a 9 by 12 size Bristol paper. So this will fit fine. I wanted to take up the whole paper, and I want you to work around this big. I want it to be 8.5 inches in diameter, maybe at least maybe 8 to 10 inches in diameter. So like a plate would be a good size. You don't want to do something too small, and you don't want to go too big because we're just trying to make a color wheel. We don't want to waste too much paint, especially this is your first time working with gouache. So you might have a little bit of trial and error runs with your gouache. So this is a good size. It fills up my paper. And so I'm going to center it in the middle of my paper. And I'm going to just trace around. So I have my circle. And we are going to find the radius. The radius of the circle is the most center middle part of the circle. So this is 8.5 inches. So this is going to be about 4.25. So I'm just going to make a little mark right there. Get the light a little better. And then I'm going to go, so I already went this direction. Now I'm going to go this direction. And I'm going to find 4.25. Oh, already went this way. So I'll go this way. 4.25, which is about right here. Cool. So it's really important to find the radius or the centermost part of your piece of your wheel, because it'll help you create more lines. I already made mine on the other side, so I'm gonna be flipping it back and forth, but I just thought this would be helpful to show you how to make, we wanna make, let's see, 12 triangles. And then we have these this outer ring that's going to go around. The ring comes last, but we want to make these triangles first. So since there's 12 of them, it's an odd number. Because it's an odd number, we have to make an odd amount of triangles to start. Twelve is an even number. I'm just trying to remember how I did this. Okay, so never mind. 12 is an even number. I've actually never been so great with measuring and using rulers and stuff like that. So it's a part of the process that I dislike, but it is necessary, and we get through it. And this is how we become better at the things. Always got to do things that we don't like to get to the successful point that we want to be. Anyways, so I'm going to draw a line through here. And then I'm going to line up my ruler to the middle of the very middle point, the radius. I'm going to kind of eyeball, make sure things look even. I have an eraser. Definitely will need that. Any sort of pencil works. It doesn't matter. Okay, so after you do that, you want to have, so we've made 4 different pieces of the pie. And in each part of these pies, we want 3 different triangles because we want 12 triangles all together. So now that we have 4, we can just create, this is what I like to do. I like to eyeball. So I'll just draw these little divots, try to eyeball what a third of this would look like. And you can always go back and like measure them to perfection. So this is like 2 1/4. This is about 2 1/2. This is about 2 1/4. So I'm just going to bring this in a little bit. Erase. Like I said, I don't like measuring. I rather just eyeball things and erase and sort of arrange and organize. You are welcome to do this any way that you know is necessary to you. Maybe you're really good at measuring stuff. Yeah, so I'm gonna eyeball this side again. So I already finished this side. Now I'm gonna work on the opposite side here. This one a little bit bigger. Okay, so now that I have my little lines marked, I can start to line them up. I always want to make sure when I'm doing this, when I'm connecting the lines from one side of the circle to the other side of the circle, I always want to make sure that your line is going through the centermost point of your circle every time you make a line. It'll look a lot more organized and it's going to make more sense that way. So I'm putting my ruler up against this line, and it's also this line over here. And we're doing this over here. Okay, so that looks good. It doesn't really have to be perfect, but try to get it as even as possible. Then I have to make 3 pizza pies here, 3 pizza pies here. I can already tell that these 2 sections are a little bit bigger than my other 2. I'm not going to sweat the small stuff right now. It's just a color wheel. Mixing the colors is far more important. Of course, you want it to make sense visually. So yeah, it's actually pretty close. It's about 2 1/4. It's more even on this side. Paper around, eyeball out the thirds. Then we're going to go across. Always make sure that your ruler is going through the very most middle part of the color wheel. Oh, see, I made a mistake. This line didn't go through the middle. That's going to be very, very important for lining all of this up, but it's okay. I'm just going to erase my mistake. And I'm going to draw back the points of the triangles to match up again. And I'm gonna make sure that my ruler's on that. I'm gonna go cut right through the middle of that there. All right, great. That's better. You all can see that. Looks like I forgot to finish one half of the line here. I hope that this is helpful for you all. I know I'm kind of just showing you how I would do it. Like I said, it's not the right way or the wrong way. Okay, so we have our 12 slices of color wheel. And I'm gonna just write this in here, and it's fine to write on like and take notes like around your color wheel about how much gouache you're using, stuff like that. That's absolutely fine with me. But I'm going to show you. I'm gonna write down like the first letter of each color that goes into each triangle to help me organize my thoughts for when I start to paint it with gouache later. So kind of on the smaller side into the center on the smaller side of the triangle, I'm going to start with red. And then I'm going to do the primaries first. Red, blue, and yellow. You want there's going to be 3. You want it to be even. They're going to each have 3 different triangles in between. So there's red, blue, yellow. So red plus yellow equals orange. Red and blue mixed together equals violet. Blue and yellow make a green. Okay, so then those are my secondary colors. Now I'm going to write in my tertiary colors. So red and orange makes a red, orange. Red and violet make a red, violet. Violet and blue, or blue and violet make a blue, violet. And green and blue make a blue, green. Yellow and green make a yellow, green. And orange, yellow and orange make a yellow, orange. So these are my little notes that I'm writing down. It's going to help me paint faster. And the last thing that we have to do is create this ring. So this ring around is going to be an investigation of a mixture of orange violet, orange green, and it's like my crazy handwriting. So anyways, this is how if you have a compass at home, this might make this really easy for you. Please go ahead and use it. If you don't, I'm going to show you a little drawing trick. So I want this outer ring to be like probably about an inch or so thick, maybe a little bit less. I think an inch is good. So what I'm going to do is when you are drawing, your pencil and your hand make a nice semicircular movement. So what you can do is just use your hand, the natural movement of your hand, that semicircular movement of your hand, and turn your paper. voila, there you go. It doesn't really look like a perfect circle, but this motion of my hand creates a nice curvature, and so I can just go over that, kind of streamline the lines a little bit, erase. Okay, and there you go. There, it's looking pretty good, I think. And when I paint it, it's gonna be an entirely different thing. All right, so now I need to do, my last step in this is erasing a little bit. So I'm going to make, I only want to have 3 different color swatches in this outer part. So we're gonna be mixing orange green together. So my orange is here and my green is here. This orange green that we mixed together is gonna go on the outside, as I said. So orange green goes there. Still, I'm gonna leave these marks here and here. I also want to make a green violet. We're gonna see what happens when we mix green and violet together. Actually, so you're only gonna erase 2 lines, I think. Yeah. No, we're gonna be erasing 3. I was right. So 1, 2, 3. And then I'm erasing this line, 1, 2. This doesn't really matter too much where it matches up. It'll make sense once you start it and once you see the finished product. Mistake here. Okay. So this is my orange and this is my green. I'm gonna leave this line here, and I'm gonna make this orange green in this part of my color wheel. I also want to find out what orange and violet looks like. So I erased these 3 lines here, and I left it here and here. And in this one, I'm going to investigate what orange violet looks like. So I'm going to write an OV there. And then lastly, we are going to look at what a green violet looks like. So I erased these 3 lines. And I'm going to put that here. So yeah, I would recommend just copying me directly as much as you possibly can. That way we can just avoid confusion. And I will take a picture and I will post this picture so you can see just what it's supposed to look like to start. Okay, all right. Next video is it's going to be me using gouache and painting a little bit. All right, see ya.